It touched Mr. Trump because Mr. Trump has been calling for this and that people heeded his call.
Igniting a firestorm of controversy. The action that has some Nashvillians calling for a Metro Council member to step down. Minutes away, Fox 17 News bringing you former President Trump's first speech since the assassination attempt.
It's not acceptable behavior, and to try and attack a group of people for who they are is disgusting.
Self-proclaimed white supremacists targeting the mid-state. The growing frustration tonight. Fox 17 News at 9 starts now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
Well, tonight is the night many of people have been waiting for. Former President Trump will not only accept the Republican nomination for president, but this is his very first speech since Saturday's assassination attempt. Right now, a live look into the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, where the former president is expected to bring a message of unity. We'll bring you his speech as soon as the former president takes the stage. You can stream complete coverage of the convention on our website, fox17.com. Meanwhile, local news here in Nashville and new tonight, continued fallout after two Metro Council members shut down a plan to condemn political violence following the assassination attempt of former President Trump. One member says Mr. Trump's own messaging put himself in danger. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live downtown after there are now calls for this council member to resign. Karen?
That's right, Megan. And the backlash comes after several comments were made by Councilwoman Ginny Welsh. Nashvillians tonight are taking action.
It touched Mr. Trump because Mr. Trump has been calling for this and that people heeded his call.
That comment by Metro Councilwoman Ginny Welsh from our interview yesterday set the internet on fire. Multiple people now asking for Councilwoman Welsh to be removed or resign. This comes just days after the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Nashville resident Matt Haley tells Fox 17 News he plans on filing an ethical complaint.
100%, I think that she should resign or be taken off the council.
Others want to start a petition to remove her from office.
Is there any objection to the suspension of the rules?
This all started when Councilmember Courtney Johnson proposed a resolution Tuesday night to condemn Saturday's assassination attempt, honor those impacted, and condemn political violence. Welsh calling it disingenuous. But she's not the only one that objected. Councilmember Terry Vo joined Welsh.
Political violence just has no place in this country, and it has to be unacceptable.
It really sounds to me that because Trump has been named here and there was an assassination attempt, this was the reason for objecting a resolution that also includes victims. It includes condemning political violence. Do you still feel that it was right to do this?
Yes, I do. I absolutely stand by what I did.
Fox 17 News reached out to the mayor's office and the vice mayor. We didn't hear back. We also reached out to Councilmember Welsh to see if she wanted to change her message. She did not respond.
The resolution is expected to be reintroduced at the next Metro Council meeting. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, Courtney Johnson is a member of the Metro Council. She's also running against Congressman Andy Ogles in the GOP primary. Well, of course, we want to know what you think. Tonight's viewer poll asks the question, are you in favor of Metro Council passing an ordinance condemning political violence? And 85.1% of voters say yes, 14.9% say no. We'll have another update for you on these numbers tonight on Fox 17 News at 10. You can look for a brand new poll on our X page that you can participate in. In Operation Crime and Justice, police in Humboldt, Tennessee, in the western part of the state, investigating the murder of an 8-year-old child. Officers say the girl's 12-year-old cousin smothered her while she slept earlier this week, then repositioned her. Police telling us the victim is from the Nashville area. Both children were in Humboldt, staying with family. Joining us now is District Attorney General Frederick Agee. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I understand that you all want to try this 12-year-old as an adult?
Yes, ma'am. Under Tennessee law, currently a child that is in the juvenile justice system would, at 19 years old, the juvenile court no longer has authority. In this particular case, it's the violent nature of it, the heinousness of it. We feel like it fits not only a first-degree murder, but also something that we should ask the court to transfer to circuit court. It gives us much more options when it comes to sentencing. You know, this child, if they are released at 19 years old, if they are found guilty, obviously there's a presumption of innocence in this country, whether that's in juvenile court or in our circuit or criminal trial courts. If this child were to be found guilty as a juvenile at age 19, they walk free.
And I understand there is security video of this murder. Do you believe there's enough there?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Our office received a tip yesterday that there was security video. The investigators with the Humboldt Police Department and our investigator went and obtained the video. The investigators, one of the assistant DAs in our office, myself, and the Humboldt Police Chief, we watched the video, and there is corroboration for first-degree murder as well as tampering with evidence. It's one of the most disturbing things, if not the most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my life. I would like to say one other thing. Would you please keep our law enforcement and the victim's family in your thoughts and prayers? This is not something that happens in Gibson, Crockett, or Haywood County, and typically this is not something that happens in the state of Tennessee. I don't wish this upon anybody. I certainly hope that it never happens again, but it's happened, and we've got to prosecute it professionally, and our office will do everything we can to protect the community. And if there's an opportunity to rehabilitate the child delinquent, we will.
No, it's one of those cases that certainly keep you up at night. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, ma'am.
They're illegal. It's a matter of time before something happens that we don't want to happen.
Continuing coverage of the trouble caused in Nashville by unlicensed taxis. The group in charge of regulation, the Transportation Licensing Commission, held a public meeting after our relentless reporting on the issues. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us downtown, where taxi companies are begging for more enforcement.
Metro Council members, taxi companies, and taxi drivers addressed the TLC about the unlicensed taxi drivers downtown, both about how this is impacting their business and raising major safety concerns.
An industry driven by tourism and regulated by the government continues to take a hit after several reports of unlicensed taxis that are ruining their reputation and raising major safety concerns.
Before a major tragedy happens, and it's going to happen. It's a matter of time.
People like Doug Trimble, Yellow Cab manager, are so worried they are going right to the TLC, begging the governing body to do something.
We have no cab inspectors. There's nobody to, they could set any new rule they wanted. There's nobody to enforce those rules.
TLC Director Richard Rooker says they enforce downtown every day. But Rooker explains they're limited because all they're permitted to do is issue drivers a parking ticket. Rooker says they don't have the ability to go undercover and enter the vehicle.
Hi, this is Caitlin Miller calling.
Fox 17 News reached out to Metro Police, and they say it is not within their jurisdiction to regulate cab companies when it's a civil case. They say they can help investigate crime. Fox 17 News asked if they would do anything to be proactive about it, but we didn't get an answer, leaving Metro leaders like Emily Benedict concerned about a resolution.
I would ask this commission to look at that process to see if that can be improved, and so that we can make sure that citizens are being protected. This is a very scary situation.
And taxi employees like Trimble begging to get police involved to prevent the crime.
Metro Police say that they will investigate any criminal cases. The TLC says that they have enforcement downtown every day, but explains they're only permitted to give out parking tickets. Reporting from downtown, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Katie, it felt a little cooler waking up this morning, noticeably cooler.
Yeah, front came through overnight and we were able to enjoy it. lasted even through the evening hours. I had a chance to go home. I was watering the flowers.
Yeah, what did we do to deserve this?
I know. They needed a drink of water because we haven't had any rain at my house. Yes, we are enjoying the weather for now, but I do think at least the humidity is going to be coming back here as we head through the weekend. Live look at our South Nashville camera. Nice and quiet for tonight, and what we can expect as we head through the evening hours here. A few clouds will be around. Overall, quiet night ahead, and temperatures hovering around 70 as we head into early tomorrow morning. Front is well south of us, and that is helping to usher in slightly cooler and drier air. Most importantly, it's going to keep a lot of the rain to our south as well. Folks out and about enjoying Broadway tonight, our temperature noticeably different throughout the week. It's been in the 80s, well in the 80s at this hour. So it's nice to see the 70s return here. Mainly clear skies, and we'll continue to see a mainly clear sky as we go through the evening hours. Temperature tonight around 69 to 70 here in Nashville, 64 Murfreesboro, and Clarksville could get down to 60 for the overnight with the clear sky and very light winds that'll be with us. We'll talk more about rain chances that do go up as we head towards the weekend, which day is looking more likely for showers.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feed America for the Sinclair Cares Summer Hunger Relief Program. You can donate by scanning the QR code on your screen or go to sinclaircares.com.
New tonight, a federal appeals court shoots down a lawsuit challenging Tennessee's so-called drag ban. State law prohibits adult cabaret performances on public property where children can be harmed. The appeals court dismissed a Memphis theater's lawsuit because it shows that it would not harm children. A lower court originally backed the lawsuit, calling the state law too vague.
It's not acceptable behavior, and to try and attack a group of people for who they are is disgusting.
New tonight, anti-Semitic flyers dropped in a Gallatin neighborhood overnight. It comes in the midst of self-proclaimed neo-Nazi marches and demonstrations across Nashville over the last 2 weeks. While freedom of speech is protected, some say that these groups are going too far. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker in Gallatin with reaction tonight.
This quiet neighborhood was woken up to bags like this left on their front lawns. Now, it is filled with anti-Semitic writings. As far as we know, there's no rhyme or reason as to why they were left here on this street. But neighborhood homeowners tell me that this hate does not belong here. Ronald Durard first spotted these flyers near his driveway early this morning. This before noticing they were scattered throughout his street.
And I kind of noticed it through the corner of my eye when I went out to my truck.
He quickly picked them up off his neighbor's lawns before they could see them.
I guess it's everywhere, you know, and you don't realize it until it hits home. When it hits home, it's different.
Durard says he's frustrated by this level of hate.
There's a lot of hate right now. There's a lot of hate in this country. We're all divided, but this just makes it even more. Don't be so hateful. We're all human beings, you know. Everybody's got a right to believe what they believe and live the way they live.
And Gallatin Mayor Paige Brown says she is so sorry to anybody that received these papers at their homes.
I don't know who these people are. I doubt that they live in Gallatin. I think they're just passing through trying to create havoc and get attention everywhere they go.
Mayor Brown says she doesn't want to give this group attention, but says she's working with police and is committed to do anything they can legally. Now, that homeowner you just heard from said he was torn as to whether or not he should reach out to us because he didn't want to give this group the attention that they're looking for. But at the same time, he says that you can't ignore it, and he wanted the public to be aware that this was happening. For now, reporting in Gallatin, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, some parts of the mid-state getting some much-needed rain, a pattern that may continue.
Yeah, I think we're going to see more rain as we head into the weekend. We'll get one more mainly dry day for Friday before our shower chances start to go up again. And it doesn't look like it'll be a washout. It'll be one of these pop-up type of systems that we can expect. And that just means that some will see rain and others won't. And it'll just be a toss-up on whether or not those storms pop up over your house. Our weekend isn't looking too bad. We should hover right around 90, which is average for this time of year. And looking at, again, those pop-up showers that'll be with us. Tomorrow, I mentioned, though, a dry day. For the most part, we're looking at a partly to mostly cloudy sky and temperature hovering around 76 at 10, up to about 85 as we head towards 2 o'clock, and should be in those mid-80s for the later half of the day as well. One more less humid day, too, for Friday. We get into Saturday and more so into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. The oppressive humidity will return. It's also going to bring us some better rain chances as well, but it will begin to feel more humid as we head into the second half of the weekend. So let's take you through future track for tonight. Things remain quiet. A couple clouds, especially along and south of I-40. Future track continues to paint a stray shower chance to the south, mainly in our southern counties closest to Alabama, but mainly along and south of I-40. As we head into the evening hours, you can see there is still that threat for a stray shower or two out towards the Cumberland Plateau. A lot of folks here need the rain, so these would be good showers to see across these areas here. Other locations not seeing as much chance for showers. I do think that chance for tomorrow will be a small one, and it'll be to the south and mainly to the east. Starting Saturday morning, you can see that we'll start off with a partly to mostly cloudy sky, and we'll be looking at another couple pop-ups around. We'll talk more about when and where we can see those coming up in a little bit. 69 to 70 degrees as we head through the overnight tonight with a partly cloudy sky. We're looking at a high of 88 for the afternoon. Near average temperatures for us here with that temperature close to 90. In fact, we'll call it just slightly below average. Average is around 91. More on the weekend rain chances for you coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Happening right now, former First Lady Melania Trump is seen at the Republican National Convention, and this is her first appearance there this week. Coming up, her husband, former President Donald Trump, will be officially accepting the nomination for president. We're streaming live coverage of the convention right now on our website, fox17.com. You can go there now to see more coverage. Charges in the murder of a popular Nashville business owner. What led up to that arrest? And a mistake, some say, led to murder. The punishment for a member of Davidson County's court system.
Hey there, I'm Fox 17 News This Morning anchor Erica Glover. It's now easier for bankruptcy courts to keep.
In Operation Crime and Justice, Metro Police making an arrest in the murder case involving the owner of the Smoke and Thighs restaurant. Ulysses Martinez, charged with killing Matthew Carney. Carney was struck by a truck in the parking lot of his restaurant last month, and he later died. Martinez also faces charges of tampering with evidence. And an update tonight on a mistake in the Davidson County Clerk's office, some say led to the death of a Mississippi woman. The Davidson County Clerk's office telling Fox 17 News the deputy clerk was suspended, not fired. The worker admitted to not sending bond conditions of Bryson Rivers to the Davidson County Sheriff's Office. Rivers, facing charges of beating his girlfriend, traveled to Mississippi, where police say he killed her. He's now charged with the murder of Lauren Johansson. Right now, we're just minutes away from former President Trump accepting the nomination for president at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Fox 17 News' Atra El-Nashar has more on that. And by the way, you can vote on election-related issues by scanning that QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen during this story.
In what's set to be a 90-minute speech, former President Trump may show a different side of himself than the firebrand we've seen the last 8+ years. And tonight began with Montana Senator Steve Daines reminding the crowd that they came within an inch of having a memorial service instead of a convention.
Going forward, we must fight, fight, fight.
The theme of the fourth and final night of the RNC is Make America Great Once Again.
My call to you tonight is really straightforward. It's really simple. We can't trust the Biden administration, and that means we have work to do to uphold American values.
The lineup of speakers including Trump's most vocal defenders.
Despite the lawfare and the politics, President Trump loves the American people, and he loves this country.
I think he's a wonderful person. I know him well. But everything else about Trump aside, he actually cares. Because he's interested in the people who live here because that's his job.
The night is getting a boost of star power with an appearance by wrestler and entertainer Hulk Hogan. And Trump is bucking tradition. According to the RNC, he'll be introduced not by a spouse or a family member, but by Ultimate Fighting Champion CEO Dana White, and a live performance by Kid Rock. In Milwaukee, I'm Atra El-Mashar.
During that story, we had a QR code linked up to this poll that asked the question, did Donald Trump's response to the assassination attempt change your opinion of him? The results here on your screen, 470 people weighing in. 70% of respondents say no, it did not change their opinion of him. 30% say yes, it did.
Well, obviously, it is just summertime here in the South, and it's going to get hot, but you got to stay safe out there in the heat. I'll show you just how much damage the
Tonight, in the high cost of homelessness, the city's first permanent supportive housing facility opened its doors in Nashville as the city faces a homeless crisis. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin was at the grand opening.
The Strobel Center here downtown has 90 units for folks who come from all walks of life, and city leaders hope this is a place for folks to help rebuild and heal. It's a first of its kind here in Music City. This $35 million development is not only a housing facility, but a place for community members to get support. This comes as the point in time count revealed more than 2,000 people are experiencing homelessness in Nashville.
Housing first does not only mean housing only. The supportive services is the secret sauce into keeping someone housed.
The Strobel Center honors the late Father Charlie Strobel, who founded Room in the Inn and lived a life serving others. This facility has an on-site clinic with support staff where folks can get treatment for substance abuse, mental illness, and more.
Back to breaking news. Donald Trump taking to the stage, giving his first speech, accepting the nomination, and speaking for the first time since his attempted assassination live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's listen in.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Wow. And thank you, Dana. Thank you, Kid Rock, sometimes referred to as Bob. And thank you, Lee, right from the beginning. Thank you very much. What a talent. What a beautiful, beautiful soul. Thank you. Friends, delegates, and fellow citizens, I stand before you this evening with a message of confidence, strength, and hope. 4 months from now, we will have an incredible victory, and we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. Together, we will launch a new era of safety, prosperity, and freedom for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. The discord and division in our society must be healed, We must heal it quickly. As Americans, we are bound together by a single fate and a shared destiny. We rise together or we fall apart. I am running to be president for all of America, not half of America, because there is no victory in winning for half of America. So tonight, with faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we will do it right. We're going to do it right. Let me begin this evening by expressing my gratitude to the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday. As you already know, the assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life. So many people have asked me, what happened? Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened, and you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. It was a warm, beautiful day in the early evening in Butler Township in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Music was loudly playing, and the campaign was doing really well. I went to the stage, and the crowd was cheering wildly. Everybody was happy. I began speaking very strongly, powerfully, and happily, because I was discussing the great job my administration did on immigration at the southern border. We were very proud of it. Behind me and to the right was a large screen that was displaying a chart of border crossings under my leadership. The numbers were absolutely amazing. In order to see the chart, I started to, like this, turn to my right and was ready to begin a little bit further turn, which I'm very lucky I didn't do, when I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear. I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet. And moved my right hand to my ear, brought it down. My hand was covered with blood, just absolutely blood all over the place. I immediately knew it was very serious, that we were under attack, and in one movement proceeded to drop to the ground. Bullets were continuing to fly as very brave Secret Service agents rushed to the stage, and they really did. They rushed to the stage. These are great people, at great risk, I will tell you, and pounced on top of me so that I would be protected. There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet, in a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that. The amazing thing is that prior to the shot, if I had not moved my head at that very last instant, the assassin's bullet would have perfectly hit its mark, and I would not be here tonight. We would not be together. The most incredible aspect of what took place on that terrible evening in the fading sun was actually seen later. In almost all cases, as you probably know, and when even a single bullet is fired, just a single bullet, and we had many bullets that were being fired, crowds run for the exits or stampede, but not in this case. It's very unusual. This massive crowd of tens of thousands of people stood by and didn't move an inch. In fact, many of them bravely but automatically stood up looking for where the sniper would be. They knew immediately it was a sniper, and then began pointing at him. You can see that if you look at the group behind me. That was just a small group compared to what was in front. Nobody ran, and by not stampeding, many lives were saved. But that isn't the reason that they didn't move. The reason is that they knew I was in very serious trouble. They saw it. They saw me go down. They saw the blood and thought, actually most did, that I was dead. They knew it was a shot to the head. They saw the blood. And there's an interesting statistic. The ears are the bloodiest part. If something happens with the ears, they bleed more than any other part of the body. For whatever reason, the doctors told me that. I said, why is there so much blood? He said, it's the ears. They bleed more. So we learned something, but they just, this beautiful crowd, they didn't want to leave me. They knew I was in trouble. They didn't want to leave me. And you can see that love written all over their faces. Incredible people. They're incredible people. Bullets were flying over us, yet I felt serene. But now the Secret Service agents were putting themselves in peril. They were in very dangerous territory. Bullets were flying right over them, missing them by a very small amount of inches. And then it all stopped. Our Secret Service sniper, from a much greater distance and with only one bullet used, took the assassin's life, took him out. I'm not supposed to be here tonight. Not supposed to be here. No. Thank you. But I'm not. And I'll tell you, I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God. In watching the reports over the last few days, many people say it was a providential moment. Probably was. When I rose surrounded by Secret Service, the crowd was confused because they thought I was dead, and there was great, great sorrow. I could see that on their faces as I looked out. They didn't know I was looking out. They thought it was over. But I could see it, and I wanted to do something to let them know I was okay. I raised my right arm, looked at the thousands and thousands of people that were breathlessly waiting, and started shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." Thank you. Once my clenched fist went up, and it was high into the air. You've all seen that. The crowd realized I was okay and roared with pride for our country like no crowd I have ever heard before. Never heard anything like it. For the rest of my life, I will be grateful for the love shown by that giant audience of patriots that stood bravely on that fateful evening in Pennsylvania. Tragically, the shooter claimed the life of one of our fellow Americans, Corey, comparator, unbelievable person, everybody tells me. Unbelievable. And seriously wounded. Two other great warriors, spoke to them today, David Dutch and James Copenhaver. Two great people. I also spoke to all three families of these tremendous people. Our love and prayers are with them and always will be. We're never going to forget them. They came for a great rally. They were serious Trumpsters, I want to tell you. They were serious Trumpsters and still are. But Corey, unfortunately, we have to use the past tense. He was incredible. He was a highly respected former fire chief, respected by everybody. Was accompanied by his wife, Helen, incredible woman. I spoke to her today, devastated, and two precious daughters. He lost his life selflessly acting as a human shield to protect them from flying bullets. He went right over the top of them and was hit. What a fine man he was. I want to thank the fire department and the family for sending his helmet, his outfit, and it was just something, and they're going to do something very special when they get it, but we did something which cannot match what happened, not even close. But I am very proud to say that over the past few days, we've raised $6.3 million for the families of David, James, and Corey, including from a friend of mine just called up. He sent me a check right here. I just got it. $1 million from Dan Newland. Thank you, Dan. And again, when speaking to the family, I told them, I said, well, I'm going to be sending you a lot of money, but it can't compensate. They all said the same thing. You're right, sir. We appreciate so much what you're doing, but nothing can take the place in the case of Corey. And the other two, by the way, they were very, very seriously injured, but now they're doing very well. They're going to be okay. They're going to be doing very well. They're warriors. So now I ask that we observe a moment of silence in honor of our friend Corey. There is no greater love than to lay down one's life for others. This is the spirit that forged America in her darkest hours, and this is the love that will lead America back to the summit of human achievement and greatness. This is what we need. Despite such a heinous attack, we unite this evening more determined than ever. I am more determined than ever, and so are you. So is everybody in this room. Thank you. Thank you very much. Our resolve is unbroken and our purpose is unchanged to deliver a government that serves the American people better than ever before. Nothing will stop me in this mission because our vision is righteous and our cause is pure. No matter what obstacle comes our way, we will not break, we will not bend, we will not back down, and I will never stop fighting for you, your family, and our magnificent country. Never. And everything I have to give with all of the energy and fight in my heart and soul, I pledge to our nation tonight. Thank you very much. I pledge that to our nation. We're going to turn our nation around, and we're going to do it very quickly. Thank you. This election should be about the issues facing our country and how to make America successful, safe, free, and great again. In an age when our politics too often divide us, now is the time to remember that we are all fellow citizens. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we must not criminalize dissent or demonize political disagreement, which is what's been happening in our country lately at a level that nobody has ever seen before. In that spirit, the Democrat Party should immediately stop weaponizing the justice system and labeling their political opponent as an enemy of democracy. Especially since that is not true. In fact, I am the one saving democracy for the people of our country. And very big news, as you probably just read, on Monday a major ruling was handed down from a highly respected federal judge in Florida, Eileen Cannon, finding that the prosecutor and the fake documents case against me were totally unconstitutional, and the entire case was thrown out of court. With all of that publicity, thrown out of court. If Democrats want to unify our country, they should drop these partisan witch hunts, which I have been going through for approximately 8 years. And they should do that without delay and allow an election to proceed that is worthy of our people. We're going to win it anyway, but worthy of our people. On this journey, I am deeply honored to be joined by my amazing wife, Melania. And Melania, thank you very much. You also did something really beautiful, a letter to America calling for national unity, and it really took the Republican Party by surprise. I will tell you, it was beautiful. In fact, some very serious people said that we should take that letter and put it as part of the Republican platform. That would be an honor, wouldn't it? Right, Mr. Congressman? but it captivated so many. So I also want to thank my entire family for being here, Don, Kimberly, Ivanka and Jared, Eric and Lara, Tiffany and Michael, Baron. We love our Baron. And of course, my 10 wonderful grandchildren. You saw a few of them up there on my lap before. And how good was Dana? Was Dana good? I mean, was he good? You know, he was on probably the only vacation he's had in about, maybe ever, because he works, but about 10 years with his wife, very far away. I won't tell you where, but very, very far away, beautiful place. And my people called, and he said, yeah, I won't be able to do it. This is many, many years. I promised my wife I can't do it. And they came in, they said, Dana won't be able to do it, because he was my first, second, and third choice. I said, well, you know, that's too bad, but I understand he's away, and it's good. It's good for him. And that was it. About 30 minutes later, she came back in, sir, Dana just called. He's going to do it. And his wife, she said, you can't turn him down. You just can't do it. You have to go. That's a good wife. So he got on a plane. He got here a little while ago. Now he's going to get on the plane in a little while, and he's going to go back home to his wife. But they're great, and I just want to thank her and him and their whole family, because that's not easy. And Kid Rock, same thing. Called, he said, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part, because, you know, Kid does his great song, Big, Big Monster song. I had no idea. You know, he became a friend of mine over the last 10 years. And he's amazing. Everyone loves him. I didn't even know how big he was. You know, he has rallies, 35, 40,000 people he gets every time he goes out. I think he's making so much money, he doesn't know what the hell to do with it. You want to know? And then we have my other friend, and I've known him so long, and we took that song, and it was a big success, but we made that. I saw a chart of great songs to America. That was #1 on the chart recently, #1. So that's Lee Greenwood, a very special, beautiful person. He's a beautiful man. But they all wanted to be here. They called. And how about the Hulkster? How good was he? Is he up? Where is he? Boy, oh boy. You know, they may call that entertainment. I know about entertainment, but when he used to lift a 350-pound man over his shoulders and then bench press him 2 rows into the audience, I say maybe entertainment, but he is one strong son of a gun. I will tell you, I watched it many times. There aren't a lot of entertainers that can do that, right? You were fantastic. Thank you very much. Followed by Eric. What was that all about? Boy, that was good. I didn't want to really come up here. But he was so great, and he's such a good young man. He went through a lot of trouble, and Don last night was incredible. He went through so much trouble. They got subpoenaed more than any people probably in the history of the United States. Every week they get another subpoena from the Democrats, crazy Nancy Pelosi, the whole thing, just boom, boom, boom. They've got to stop that because they're destroying our country. We have to work on making America great again, not on beating people. And we won. We beat them in all. We beat them on the impeachments. We beat them on indictments. We beat them. But the time that you have to spend, if they would devote that genius to helping our country, we'd have a much stronger and better country.
And that, of course, is former President Trump talking tonight at the Republican National Convention. He started his speech reviewing the horrifying moments of the assassination attempt and all the emotions that he felt that day. In a little bit, he'll be accepting his party's nomination for president, and we're streaming live coverage of his speech on our website right now, fox17.com, if you'd like to continue watching.
The pressure on President Joe Biden seemingly at an all-time high, with even some of his closest allies reportedly questioning his candidacy. I'm Matt Gelka in Washington, and I'll have the latest coming up.
The president has tested positive for COVID-19, but he's not the only one. I'm Liz Bonus. What's making everybody sick? We explain just ahead.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
New tonight, an internet firestorm targeting a Metro Council member. All of this after she and another member would not allow a resolution condemning the attack on former President Trump make it to the council floor. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live downtown to tell us what some people are now asking for. Karen?
A lot of people saw Councilmember Ginny Walsh's comment, and they say they want her to resign or be removed from office. During our interview last night, she said, quote, "Mr. Trump has been calling for this, and people heeded his call." This is in response to why she objected to the resolution on Tuesday's Metro Council meeting. Courtney Johnston, who drafted the resolution, tells me she thought it was important, and that resolution also included, she says, condemning political violence. Walsh told us Trump incites violence with his rhetoric. She also told us Johnston, who is running for Congress, is an opportunist.
The assassination attempt itself was what was so horrible. And yes, it was against former President Trump, but this is unacceptable regardless of who someone is trying to murder. It's just not acceptable.
I'm not sure what you expect when you are continually calling for political violence, why you think that you should be immune to your calls for violence.
Councilwoman Terry Vo also objected to the suspension of the rules of the resolution, which means if no one objected, it would have been heard. She tells us she wanted the resolution to go more in depth about condemning political violence. We reached out to local leaders, including Metro Council's vice mayor, and we haven't heard back yet. The resolution is expected to be reintroduced for the next Metro Council meeting. Reporting live here in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, Courtney Johnston is a member of the Metro Council. She's running against Congressman Andy Ogles in the GOP primary. Well, earlier in the newscast, we told you about our X poll up and running right now, asking, are you in favor of Metro Council passing an ordinance condemning political violence? 85.3% of voters say yes, 14.7% say no. Each night, look for a brand new poll on our X page that you can participate in.
Before a major tragedy happens, and it's going to happen. It's a matter of time.
Continuing coverage, taxi companies begging for a chance to change before something tragic happens to a tourist or a local. The group in charge of regulation, the Transportation Licensing Commission, held a public meeting after our relentless reporting on the issues. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us from downtown, where taxi companies are begging for more enforcement.
Metro Council members, taxi companies, and taxi drivers addressed the TLC about the unlicensed taxi drivers downtown, both about how this is impacting their business and raising major safety concerns.
The TLC board met Thursday and addressed unlicensed drivers and their updated enforcement efforts. The TLC says they are in the process of hiring more employees to help with regulation and are working on a campaign to educate the public, to make sure everyone is aware of what to look out for before getting into a taxi. But Doug Trimble, general manager of Yellow Cab of Nashville, argues the TLC can change rules, but he emphasizes they have no one to enforce it.
We need our cab inspectors back. We need a couple of Metro officers to work with those cab inspectors and to get these illegal taxis off the street.
Fox 17 News reached out to Metro Police to see if they would help with enforcement. They say it's not within their jurisdiction to regulate cab companies.
Metro Police say that they will investigate any criminal cases. The TLC says that they have enforcement downtown every day, but explains they're only permitted to give out parking tickets. Reporting from downtown, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
New tonight, anti-Semitic flyers dropped at a Gallatin neighborhood overnight. This follows several marches involving hate groups across Nashville over the last few weeks. These are the flyers in question. They were spotted on driveways and lawns earlier this morning. Homeowner Ronald Durand says that he was frustrated with what he saw, and while he does not want to bring any attention to the group, he says that he doesn't want to ignore it either and wants the public to be made aware that this is happening.
Don't be so hateful. We're all human beings. You know, everybody's got a right to believe what they believe and live the way they live.
Gallatin Mayor Paige Brown says she's working with police and says she's committed to do anything that they can legally.
Overnight, looking at a few clouds for us here. It'll be a relatively cool night compared to where we've been. But still comfortably cool, we'll call it, with temperatures hovering in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. As we take a look, a live shot here from South Nashville. Again, pretty looking skyline and again, clear picture. Radar is also quiet for us as well. The front is well to our south at this time, and that's helping to usher in some of this cooler, drier weather that we'll be able to enjoy at least through tomorrow before we start to see things warm up again. Overnight lows right around 70 here in town. Clarksville around 60 degrees, a little cooler to the north and to the west. Murfreesboro around 64 with Tullahoma and Lewisburg right around 63 degrees. Coming up, we'll talk more about our rain chances for the weekend. There are a few that we will discuss and walk you through future track, the timing of it all in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Project 2025, a blueprint.
Making news across America, Project 2025 sparking debate and controversy. It's a plan for the next conservative administration. And while some say it's long overdue, others argue it goes too far. Fox 17 News' Angela Brown taking a closer look at both sides of the argument.
Here's Project 2025, a 900-plus page mandate prepared by and for conservatives, facilitated by the Heritage Foundation, a conservative think tank, a plan Democrats call dangerous, Heritage calls common sense.
It's called Mandate for Leadership, and basically it has policy proposals for every major executive department. And I think actually anyone who goes there and reads it is going to come away saying, actually, this is common sense.
There's no way to go through all 900-plus pages in just 2 minutes, but here are some of the more controversial proposals. Page 319, the Department of Education, eliminated. Page 482, Head Start, eliminated. Page 133, dismantle the Department of Homeland Security. Page 458, calling on the FDA to reverse its approval of chemical abortion drugs. Page 664, dismantling NOAA, the folks in charge of the National Weather Service.
Yes, well, one of the proposals in Project 2025 would seek to undermine the agency that actually allows us to have data and information about weather patterns, including the storms, the unprecedented storms that we're seeing right now, actually.
Skye Perryman is the CEO of Democracy Forward, an organization that read through all 900 pages and put this together. The People's Guide to Project 2025.
I think Project 2025 is devastating and will take away from ordinary Americans many of the rights and benefits that they are used to in this country.
One major proposal, revive the Trump Schedule F policy that would try to reclassify tens of thousands of federal workers as political appointees, according to AP.
People look at January 6th and they think of, oh, you're going to get rid of all of these federal workers. Oh, you're going to overhaul the Justice Department. What if they install people who are just loyal to Trump and not loyal to the Constitution?
Okay, well, that is a false view of the entire Project 2025. And again, most of the critiques of it are fabrications, like things like saying that it is getting rid of no-fault divorce, or it bans abortion.
Former President Donald Trump is trying to distance himself from Project 2025, saying on Truth Social, I know nothing about Project 2025. He has his own plan called Agenda 47. But a number of Trump staffers helped to write or even collaborate on Project 2025. In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
The pressure on President Joe Biden seemingly at an all-time high, with even some of his closest allies reportedly questioning his candidacy.
Happening right now, former President Trump continues speaking with delegates and attendees at the Republican National Convention as he accepts the Republican nomination for president. Let's listen in.
But in less than 4 years, our opponents have turned incredible success into unparalleled tragedy and failure. It's been a tremendous failure. Today, our cities are flooded with illegal aliens. Americans are being squeezed out of the labor force and their jobs are taken. And by the way, you know who's taking the jobs that are created? 107% of those jobs are taken by illegal aliens. And you know who's being hurt the most by millions of people pouring into our country? The black population and the Hispanic population, because they're taking the jobs from our black population, our Hispanic population, and they're also taking them from unions. The unions are suffering because of it. Thank you. Thank you. I like you too. Thank you very much. Inflation has wiped out the life savings of our citizens and forced the middle class into a state of depression and despair. That's what it is. It's despair and depression. We cannot and will not let this continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. We're going to be a great nation again. Thank you. With proper leadership, every disaster we are now enduring will be fixed, and it will be fixed very, very quickly. So tonight, whether you've supported me in the past or not, I hope you will support me in the future, because I will bring back the American dream. That's what we're going to do. You don't even hear about the American dream anymore. With great humility, I am asking you to be excited about the future of our country. Be excited. Be excited. And by the way, the news reports, look at all of those big networks. Look at them. They're all here. But every one of them has said this could be the most organized, best run, and most enthusiastic convention of either party that they've ever seen. Every single one. And it's true. It's true. And there's love in the room. There's great love in the room. So I better finish strong. Otherwise, we'll blow it, and we can't let that happen. Now, this was great. All of the great people that spoke, and everybody hit a home run. I mean, there's not one that I can think of where I said.
That, of course, former President Trump talking tonight at the Republican National Convention. We are streaming coverage of the convention and his speech. He's still talking live. If you'd like to watch that, fox17.com is where you can go.
Now,
Making headlines, multiple reports indicate members of President Biden's party are increasingly isolating him. As Fox 17 News' Matt Gulka reports, the pressure for Biden to end his campaign could be coming to a head.
A bombshell report from Axios. Democrats saying in private the pressure on Joe Biden to end his campaign could cause the president to drop out as soon as this weekend. The party's concerns center around the president's age and fitness to serve another term, and also the potential liability he'd be on down-ballot races. Biden was asked about what could cause him to drop out in an interview with BET News.
If there has some medical condition that emerged, if the doctors came to me and said, you got this problem, that problem.
The president's team again said he was staying in the race on Thursday.
Our campaign is not working through any scenarios where President Biden is not the top of the ticket.
Democrats have seen brutal polling for Biden recently. An Emerson poll this week had Donald Trump increasing his lead over Biden in 7 swing states. If we keep the results from 2020 aside from those 7 swing states in the poll, and they all break for Donald Trump, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Nevada, that is a 312-vote Electoral College landslide for Trump, and it's maps like this that Democrats are panicking about. Other national polls and models show Biden beating Trump in November. It has Democrats in a tight spot.
There's no obvious solution that solves the basic problem or all of the problems that Democrats are making. They can solve them, but it's going to take some time.
65% of Democrats say Biden should drop out, with top Democrats in the House and Senate reportedly bringing their concerns directly to the president. The Washington Post reports an influential voice on the left, former President Barack Obama, has told his inner circle Biden needs to think about the viability of his campaign, maybe the biggest voice in the growing chorus of anxious Democrats. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Well, this evening I mentioned a nice quiet night. We're going to get another nice day as we head into tomorrow afternoon. The exception will be to the south and east, where a stray shower chance will be possible, but it does look like the majority of us stay dry for the day on Friday. The weekend not looking too bad. In fact, pretty average as far as temperatures go, and a few pop-up showers to go along with it. We'll start with Friday. Temperature around 77 at 10, up to 85 by 2. All the while looking at a mix of clouds and sunshine. Both days this weekend are going to be okay, I do think. A little more humid by Sunday and a slightly better rain chance as well for Sunday here. Most of these, again, should be pop-up showers. It'll be around for both Saturday and Sunday, with just a slightly higher chance on Sunday as the system comes in from the southwest. In addition to that, we are going to see more moisture moving in, so semi-tolerable, we'll say, for Friday. And then it starts to feel more humid for Saturday, and then we'll call it oppressive for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So we take you through Friday. You can see that we're looking at a few pop-up showers, mainly again to the south and to the east of Nashville. That'll continue as we head through the afternoon and early evening hours, especially toward the Cumberland Plateau. So rain chances will be best east of 65 for tomorrow. Saturday morning, we're looking at a mostly cloudy sky to start, and we'll likely keep a mostly cloudy sky around for much of the day. A couple showers trying to pop up. Any one of these will be able to produce some heavy pockets of rain, but I do not see severe weather to be a problem for us, so that's good news. Run-of-the-mill pop-up showers again with heavy rain will be the story. Through Saturday night into Sunday, we'll continue to see showers around mainly in the afternoon. So as we take you through about 10 o'clock, you can see a few popping up here, and more so into the afternoon hours, 2, 3 o'clock, scattered at best. Very typical. This is definitely going to be one of those rain for thee, not for me typical situations for summer, where your neighbor might have rain, much needed rain, and just a few streets over, you're not seeing any rain at your house. So it really is just going to depend on where these showers pop up and then how long they stick around. They'll begin to sort of rain themselves out, if you will, but can drop some heavy rain, which we have seen over the past few days here. Through Sunday evening into early Monday, same thing. We'll start to see these showers taper off Sunday night into early Monday morning, and we'll be left with a pretty stormy day for Monday. So overall, pretty typical summer pattern here for the next several days. I would say this is a win for us because the temperatures are not extreme. So we can say goodbye to the extreme heat for now with highs right around average, and that's the way it should stay all the way through the middle to late part of next week.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Impressive lightning in Ocean City, New Jersey last night. Unfortunately, on average, lightning kills 20 to 30 people every year in the United States, and it can strike more than 10 miles away from the location of rainfall. So remember the saying, when thunder roars, go indoors. And smoke from nearby wildfires surrounds Washington State's Glacier Peak, turning the sky red as the sun rose this morning.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on TikTok.
And you can see more stories like this every weekday morning on the National.
Training camp gets underway next week for the Titans, and we should get a better idea of what the new offense will look like. We know that for the first time in 8 years, it will not be a Derrick Henry run-first offense. And we also know that a large part of the success will be determined by him. quarterback Will Levis. Levis, coming off an impressive rookie season where he threw for over 1,800 yards, had 8 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in just 9 games. Now he enters year 2 with the team, and he made it a point this offseason to stay here in Nashville and improve his game. Levis said he tweaked a couple things mechanically, specifically though his footwork at the top of his drop. He said his focus has been to be more stationary so he can get the ball out quicker and utilize his arm strength even more.
Quarterbacks are weirdos. We're always tweaking with something. We always feel like something might be off. Like you saw Brady go through a handful of different footworks throughout one season. And just ball wasn't coming out the way that I would have liked it to. And we just started looking at what could potentially be the cause of it and just been messing around with things, specifically with my base, that I feel like have got me into a good spot.
Titans also made sure to give Levis plenty of weapons, and they went out and signed wide receivers Calvin Ridley and Tyler Boyd this offseason. Now, they're just 2 of 10 new free agents or trade additions, and we'll see them all in action next week. Titans will report to camp on Tuesday, and then the real fun begins on Wednesday for their very first practice of training camp. Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
The president has tested positive for COVID-19, but he's not the only one. I'm Liz Bonus. What's making everybody sick? We explain just ahead.
Hey there, I'm Fox 17 News this morning anchor Erica Glover. It's now easier for bankruptcy courts to cancel student loan debts. We're going to explain why federal leaders say not many borrowers are choosing that option, though. That story Friday on Fox 17 News this morning. We'll see you then.
In national news, President Biden expected to isolate for the next few days after testing positive for COVID. And as Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonus explains, he's not the only one experiencing symptoms from the latest summer surge.
Hey there, everybody. Hello to you. The majority of cases right now are said to be coming from the latest KP variants. KP3, as it's known, accounts for almost 40% of infections that are new right now.
The symptoms of this variant so far appear to be mild. Sneezing and a cough are most common. President Joe Biden is reportedly experiencing both of these, even though we don't know if it's one of the KP variants with which he is infected.
Anyone can get it, whether you're, president or not.
Public health specialist Dr. Steve Fagans tells me his office is seeing pretty much what the CDC has confirmed. Recent wastewater testing shows more than half of all states in the U.S. are now at high or very high levels of the virus that causes COVID-19. Lots of people, however, blaming allergies or a summer cold for their symptoms.
There may be more colds this summer. They're probably COVID. And it's not a bad idea to, go to the store and get you a home test and find out.
The reason to do that, Dr. Fagan says, there's treatment now. The president said to be taking Paxlovid.
What does it do? Well, it reduces the likelihood of something that becomes mild becoming severe. And so, especially when you have other medical illnesses or possibly older age. And so the sooner the better that you can start that.
Paxlovid only available by prescription, so you do need to call your doctor's office or the pharmacy if you think you need it as soon as those symptoms set in. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
We're looking good this weekend.
We've got one more day.
I know.
Here.
We've got one more day, and actually tomorrow the driest day of the next several here. High will be around 88, and the humidity not too bad, but we